right, my name is Marty Jertz. I'm the Director of Product Development for Ping, and very excited. We're at the 2016 PGA show. We're talking about our latest driver, the G driver, kind of encompassing all of our fitting options, all of our styles of performance. Previously we had I and answer kind of mixed in there. We're covering all of those different fitting optimizations, those different models under one umbrella. That's the G family. So we've been talking about the driver and then the fairway wood. Driver design, you know, I think it starts out with what our goal is. Our goal is to have great fitting options. We want that unique but hard to accomplish performance of something with fast clubhead speed, fast ball speed for the distance, but we want a lot of forgiveness. So we want to utilize MOI and other factors that give practical kind of accuracy to really give you as the golfer that mechanical advantage, that combination of distance and minimizing your percent offline. You know, ultimately that's the care about. We also want to look good, sound good, sit good at address, have those really good acoustic properties. So our product family and our technology portfolio is really a sum of a lot of technologies, right? So with the clubhead design, we have some more evolutionary things, and we have some revolutionary things with this G driver. Revolutionary technologies is the Dragonfly technology. This is an exoskeleton design. We are able to centrifugally vacuum cast the crown thickness down to 17 thousandths of an inch. It's about yay much. $3 bills stacked together. That's how thin the driver crown is. But done in a way that still produces even a deeper sound than the G30. So the acoustics are amazing with this driver. So we save a lot of weight. That's the goal, that's the inspiration. What do we do with that weight? We put it low and back, drive the CG lower and deeper so we get more dynamic loft and more inertia. So regardless of your impact stat area around the face, you get really consistent, stable launch conditions. How do we get more speed? So we have a big driver, 460 cc's, but it goes through the air like a 280, 290 cc club. How do we do that? That's very hard to do. Turbulators give the airflow more momentum over the crown so the flow stays attached to the crown longer. Then we have this cavity in the back called vortex. This is very similar to the wings that hang off the back of these 18-wheelers many people have seen driving down the freeway. What those do, they shed, those base flaps shed the vortices that exist at the very back of kind of where the end of a blunt body just goes to a sharp corner. It can influence the way the air flows there and stabilize those vortices. And so when we've done our virtual and wind tunnel simulations and testing, not only does this improve the drag coefficient, it also stabilizes the head so it oscillates less, doesn't flutter as much on the downswing. So that gives it more speed and more stability at the same time. So turbulators, Vortex, very small, simple, adjustable hosel. It doesn't confuse golfers. I think people really have embraced the freedom of being kind of simple, real adjustments to fine-tune their trajectory. Then we have three different models within that G umbrella. So we have the standard model we're looking at here. We have an LS Tech, the weighting's a little bit more forward. It really minimizes the spin. Really great driver if you still balloon the ball too much. You want that good high launch, low spin, but good spin stability. Then we have the SF Tech version. The CG's more heel side, and we build that at a lighter swing weight. So that helps with closure rate on the downswing. So we help deliver the club more square to the path, and then the CG being more heel side helps influence the spin axis. So, you know, a lot of the golfing community kind of fights slicing or kind of missing to the right. That SF Tech straight flight technology is a great model, all uniquely optimized. So a sum of a lot of great technologies. Tie 811 alloy for the body, T9S face material, strong, lightweight, good strength to modulus ratio, and a high balance, or light and counterbalance shaft called Alta. Moves the center of gravity extremely close to your hands, which makes the club feel lighter to your hands, and so we can add more mass to the head. And we get more mass, it's like getting the right size bowling ball. You just get that much better energy transfer, right? So we have a high momentum, fast clubhead speed, very stable. The driver looks amazing. We've made it look a little more pear-shaped, looks faster in the playing position. And all the technologies really frame the ball really well as well. So a lot of technologies, some revolutionary, some evolutionary, and we're on a journey. But the CG's lower and deeper, it's even more stable, especially on top to bottom mishits.
So the Dragonfly technology there on the back, is that just for saving weight, or is that sort of work into the aerodynamic properties at all?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I think naturally, folks' instinct, because we have a lot of aerodynamic features, that this might influence the airflow. It's all the inspiration here is simply for weight savings. So we've reduced the crown thickness by over 20% compared to the G30. So we saved 7 or 8 grams from the crown. So this is a weight savings, and there's also kind of a rib structure on the inside as well. So it has an exoskeleton and an endoskeleton to it. And we went on this journey of dragonfly technology. It's kind of a process called biomimicry. It's kind of emulating the wings of a dragonfly. And that was a picture our chairman and CEO, John Solheim, sent to us in the research group. And he didn't say make a driver that looks like a dragonfly wing. He said, let's learn from this, right? And that's a much different question as a designer, you know, and we're on a pathway to learn and be the experts at the physics of golf. And so we learned a lot from that structure. We were very inspired by it. And we brought in that skeleton structure, both on the outside and the inside of the driver. To do that and still produce a driver that has that deep piercing sound to it was a challenge. And so the acoustic optimization was a big part of our design challenge as well.
The SF Tech has the same look as the G?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the SF Tech, so in the address position, kind of the profile of the driver is very similar, but the weighting on the sole is moved more heel side. And so what that does, number one, it pulls the center of gravity more heel side. Number two, we change kind of how the sit point of the driver. So when you sole the driver on the ground, the SF Tech rocks relative to our normal one a little more closed or a little more square to the eye of the customer, the player, the golfer that might fight it out to the right. And that's going to help them kind of just get their grip on there a little better and get that driver to sit a little more square to the eye.
And the hosel, does that change the face angle or is that loft?
Yeah, so the way we do our hosel design, it kind of is impacted by how we contour the sole. It's primarily there to just fine tune the loft. So we can go up and down a range of 2 degrees. So up 1, down 1, and then kind of 2 intermediate positions at 0.6 of a degree. Primarily it'll affect the loft. If you don't sole the driver, so if you hover the driver a la Jack Nicklaus, Bubba Watson, it won't affect the face angle at all.
Yeah.
Only if you sole the driver, it'll have a very minute impact. So if you went to the plus, it would sit, if you sat on fluffy grass, you wouldn't notice. If you sat on kind of cart path or hard pan, you would see a little change in the relative face angle.